The eastern continent of Earth was shrouded in an uncharacteristic, oppressive silence. It was the specific, heavy silence that always followed a catastrophe. It was the aftermath of Raditz. The Saiyan invader had carved through the planet's greatest defenders with terrifying ease, leaving behind a dead hero and a terrified, breathless world. While the surviving Z-fighters pushed their bodies to the absolute breaking point in preparation for the next invasion, while Piccolo isolated himself in the desolate wastelands to meditate, and while a young Gohan wept under the unfamiliar stars, Son Goku ran along Snake Way. He was dead, but he was preparing. He was learning techniques from King Kai that would either save his world or arrive far too late to matter. Yet, while the gods of this universe watched the cosmos and the fighters watched the skies, absolutely no one was watching the dimensional membrane. No one noticed when a biological anomaly tore through the very fabric of reality and plummeted into the ruins of an abandoned Frieza Force scouting camp. There was no explosion, no flash of light, and no massive spike in ki. It registered only as a cold void, an absence of life, shaped exactly like a man in a gray hoodie and leather jacket. Alex Mercer touched down in the center of the crater without a sound. Surrounding him were the partially dissolved remains of 4 alien soldiers. Mercer didn't hesitate or exhibit surprise. He knelt beside a saurian-type corpse encased in purple cracked armor, black and red tendrils slithering effortlessly from his arm to consume the alien flesh. 43 seconds later, the Blacklight Virus had assimilated a complete tactical database. Mercer stood up with the dead soldiers' memories, understanding space travel, alien biology, scouter mechanics, and the fundamental concept of power levels. It was the files concerning Earth that immediately captured Mercer's analytical attention. Priority threat, Kakarot. Designation, Son Goku. Current status, deceased. Resurrection, pending via wish-granting artifacts known as Dragon Balls. The alien scouter algorithms projected a terrifying trajectory. Based on standard afterlife training metrics, Goku's return power level was estimated to sit somewhere between a staggering 22,000 and 24,000 at base. Mercer's biology didn't feel fear. It registered existential threats, and a warrior with a base power of 22,000 who could multiply his strength through emotional rage was the ultimate anomaly. If Goku returned to Earth at full strength, he would be an unmanageable variable. Alex Mercer eliminated variables before they became active threats. He began walking east, toward the neon smear of a distant city. He needed localized intelligence before he could strike. He needed to understand Earth's defenders perfectly. Hours later, in a shadowy black market warehouse on the outskirts of West City, he found a former Red Ribbon Army operative running illegal weapons. 27 seconds of brutal consumption gave Mercer everything the man knew. He learned of Master Roshi's disciples, Bulma Brief's technological support, the Namekian wildcard, and the crucial timeline. Goku would return in mere months. In the Frieza Force's vast, forgotten infrastructure, automated relay buoys floated at the edge of the solar system, passively recording data. Guided by the memories of his consumed victims, Alex located the nearest terrestrial data node disguised as orbital debris. It took 4 minutes for his tendrils to bypass its security and absorb its accumulated logs. The data painted a terrifying picture. Earth's fighters were experiencing exponential, illogical growth. But the most alarming blip was a brief signature recorded weeks ago from the afterlife, a power level fluctuating and spiking rapidly, confirming the 22,000 baseline projection. Goku was learning a power multiplier technique. Then there was the Zenkai mechanism. Saiyan cellular structures didn't just heal from trauma, they metabolized it into permanent strength. Mercer realized a fundamental flaw in his plan.
To fight Goku effectively, he needed to understand ki. Beneath the streets of West City, in a subterranean drainage facility, Mercer found a squad of Frieza soldiers. He approached them not as a monster, but as a civilian worker. When their scouters read his power level as absolute 0, they laughed. The laughter abruptly ended when Mercer's arm shifted into a massive, razor-sharp blade. Over 4 minutes, Mercer tore through the squad, breaking down the key pathways webbing their nervous systems. The virus painstakingly mapped this new energy network, weaving the alien conductive tissues into Mercer's own biomass. It wasn't enough to generate his own ki, but it was enough to sense a faint, ghostly frequency far to the northeast. The northern wastelands offered nothing but shattered rocks, howling winds, and absolute isolation. Piccolo stood among the crags, weighted down with hundreds of kilograms of training gear, watching 5-year-old Gohan execute a ki-reinforced rush sequence for the 50th time that morning. The boy moved with a desperate, ragged speed, his tiny fist eventually connecting with a massive boulder, detonating it into a colossal cloud of dust. Piccolo offered no praise, only a harsh critique of the boy's form. The Namekian knew the boy was a walking paradox, human analytical capability layered over an infinite Saiyan power ceiling. Unbeknownst to them both, Alex Mercer had been watching from the ridgeline for 4 hours. He had flattened his biomass against the stone, matching its color and texture perfectly. He was entirely invisible to the eye, but the freshly consumed ki pathways in his body emitted a whisper of a signal. Piccolo froze. His antennae twitched imperceptibly. "Gohan," he barked, his voice dropping into a deadly register. "Power up to 50% and be ready." Gohan obeyed instantly. "I don't sense anything." "Neither do I, not clearly," Piccolo muttered. Piccolo exploded from the ground, cresting the ridge in a fraction of a second, charging the special beam cannon. But the rock shelf was utterly empty. Piccolo lowered his hand, his mind racing. Something intelligent had been observing them, measuring Gohan's potential, and chosen to retreat rather than engage. Hundreds of miles away, in an abandoned pharmaceutical lab, Alex Mercer processed his observations. Gohan at baseline was manageable, but during brief moments of distress, the boy's power spiked exponentially. Mercer's strategy crystallized. He could not just assassinate Goku, he would have to bypass Piccolo's tactical genius to isolate his primary target.
Section 4. Goku's return to the world of the living was heralded by the golden flash of the Dragon Balls. He materialized on the lush grass of the Capsule Corp estate, deeply inhaling the scent of Earth. He felt profoundly different. 11 months with King Kai hadn't just made him stronger, it had fundamentally restructured his ki. Amidst the tears, laughter, and mountains of food, Piccolo stood apart. He sensed the massive architectural shift in Goku's power. The Namekian's own senses aligned perfectly with the Frieza Force's earlier projections. Goku's resting base power was now casually hovering around 23,000, a monstrous leap that defied standard martial arts progression. "We have a problem separate from the Saiyans," Piccolo stated flatly, detailing the ghost signature in the wastelands. "It's learning our energy system from the outside." Goku closed his eyes. His ki expanded outward, washing over the continent, not as a radar pinging numbers, but as a qualitative search, feeling for the texture of life. He snapped his eyes open, looking to the northeast. "There," Goku said softly. "It feels like an outline, like a shadow shaped like a person. It's moving fast, running through the city underground." Goku placed 2 fingers to his forehead. "I'm going to go say hello." Before Piccolo could protest, Goku vanished via instant transmission. Mercer felt the scan. It wasn't a standard Frieza scouter sweep. It was a warm, curious pressure.
Knowing his window of opportunity had just violently contracted, Mercer abandoned his stealth approach. He surfaced from a maintenance hatch and walked calmly down a deserted street. Then reality warped, and Goku stood 30 feet away, arms resting loosely at his sides. "Hey," Goku said, tilting his head. "You don't have a power level, but you're not a normal human. What are you?" Section 5. Mercer didn't answer with words. In a fraction of a second, his right arm split open, the flesh erupting into a massive, jagged blade. He launched forward, swinging the keratin steel composite at Goku's neck. Goku shifted slightly to the left. Mercer seamlessly pivoted, his left arm transforming into a cluster of razor-sharp claws and slashed diagonally. Goku brought up a forearm, wrapping it in dense ki. The claws struck the barrier with a deafening crack. Mercer felt the impossible density of Goku's 23,000 power-level flesh. It was like striking a mountain. Goku slid backward, looking at his slightly bruised arm. The friendly curiosity evaporated. "Okay," Goku said quietly. "So that's how it is." Fighting Son Goku was a lesson in tactical horror. Within 30 seconds, Goku had memorized Mercer's attack vectors. When Mercer unleashed a devastating Whip Fist strike, Goku simply wasn't there. He reappeared directly above Mercer. Kamehameha! A condensed beam of brilliant blue energy struck Mercer in the shoulder. The pain was instantaneous and alien. Ki burned at a cellular level. It disrupted the viral replication chains, searing the blacklight biomass. It took 3 agonizing seconds to heal. Goku landed gracefully. "You healed? That's amazing!" Mercer switched tactics. He hoisted a 3-ton delivery truck above his head with his hammer fists and hurled it. Goku vaporized the vehicle with a casual flick of his wrist. Using the smoke as cover, Mercer shifted his vision to thermal tracking and lunged. He raked Goku's chest, but the Saiyan retaliated with a point-blank ki blast to Mercer's torso. Mercer was launched through 2 concrete buildings. He reassembled himself in the rubble. Goku stood in the street, his aura humming with a heavy density. "You're not here just to fight me," Goku said. "I felt it when your claws hit me. Your cells were trying to dig into mine. You want to absorb me." Section 6. Recognizing that stealth and direct assault had failed, Mercer resorted to environmental warfare. He released a localized burst of the Blacklight Virus, a gray cloud of infectious particulate designed to drift into the neighboring civilian blocks. Goku watched the cloud spread. "That's going to hurt people." He planted his feet, and his ki erupted outward as a massive, purifying pressure wave. The sheer life force radiating from Goku completely incinerated the viral cloud. Goku turned back to Mercer, his eyes burning with absolute determination. "I don't know what you are, but I'm not letting you leave." Piccolo descended like a meteor, landing between Goku and Mercer just as Goku's ki hit critical mass. "Don't let it touch you," Goku warned. "It absorbs through contact, and it just tried to infect the city." Piccolo's eyes narrowed. "It knows about your revival. It wants to absorb you to steal your strength before the Saiyans arrive." "You're right," Mercer replied. Piccolo fired a devastating ki blast into the rubble behind Mercer, dropping the remains of the building to blind him in a cloud of dust. In the dust cloud, Piccolo lunged, wrapping his massive arms around Mercer in a crushing bear hug, but Mercer's solid form dissolved into a slick, liquid mass of black tentacles, slithering through Piccolo's grip before reforming 30 feet away. "It can't be grappled," Piccolo grunted. "I know. Kaioken!" The transformation was instantaneous. Goku's aura erupted into a violent, blood-red inferno. His power output surged dramatically, pushing rapidly from 23,000 to an overwhelming 27,000, the absolute maximum his body could safely handle without tearing apart. The sheer pressure cracked the asphalt. Goku vanished, reappearing instantly in front of Mercer, delivering a brutal palm strike that completely shattered Mercer's blade arm. Section 7. Mercer retreated, firing his whip fist to create distance, but Piccolo was already flanking him. Mercer realized his contingency plan was failing. He could not outfight them, and his adaptations were falling behind Goku's 27,000 power multiplier. Looking past the fighters, Mercer saw the densely populated West City skyline. He morphed his arms into twin blades and sprinted directly north. "Go!" Piccolo roared. "I'll contain the spread. You stay on him." Goku didn't hesitate. Using instant transmission, he materialized directly in Mercer's path. Mercer skidded to a halt and executed his most desperate gambit. He detonated his biomass, releasing a massive 50-meter sphere of pure blacklight viral particulate toward the civilians. But Mercer had miscalculated the Namekian's resolve. Piccolo dove straight into the heart of the viral cloud, expanding his ki outward, turning his own body into a blazing furnace of purification. Piccolo emerged on the other side. His cape burned away, but the infection was completely neutralized. Goku turned his attention back to Mercer. His red aura burned with a blinding white core. Goku moved faster than Mercer's optical receptors could process, driving his fist into Mercer's chest and launching him miles through the air into an abandoned industrial district. As Goku and Piccolo descended into the industrial sector, Mercer noticed the surrounding chemical storage tanks. He dashed for the main reservoir. Goku intercepted. Mercer pivoted wildly, transforming his right arm into claws and swiping desperately. The claws grazed Goku's shoulder. For 3 agonizing seconds, Mercer's consumption tendrils pierced Goku's skin. The intense 27,000 Kaioken energy flooded Mercer's pathways like liquid sun, instantly cauterizing his tendrils. Mercer violently ripped his arm away, but in those 3 seconds, the Blacklight Virus succeeded. It hadn't absorbed Goku's power, it had stolen a blueprint, the fundamental architectural framework of how Saiyan biology generated and harnessed ki. Section 8. Mercer needed time. The integration of Saiyan ki architecture was tearing his biomass apart from the inside. Piccolo refused to give him a single minute, crashing through the roof and unleashing an explosive demon wave that obliterated the chemical tanks. Mercer threw himself through a reinforced concrete wall. Goku smashed through the debris a moment later, his ki senses flaring. "His outline feels different. You got something from me, didn't you?" "Yes." Mercer paused in the shadows. "What happens to the world after you absorb me?" Goku demanded. "I become the ultimate defense. I will protect this planet from the Saiyans. I cannot be killed." "You'd protect Earth," Goku said slowly, "but I'd be gone. You wouldn't protect Earth because you love the people on it. You'd protect it because it's your territory." As Goku stepped forward, Mercer realized the factory was a trap. Mercer drove his hammer fist straight down, shattering the floor and plummeting into the labyrinthine maintenance tunnels beneath the city. Deep underground, Mercer sprinted through the drainage systems. 10 hours passed in the subterranean gloom. Mercer stood in a massive concrete cistern, raised his hand and focused. A flicker of energy manifested. It was a colorless, ghostly aura. The Blacklight Virus had generated genuine metaphysical energy. But as the ki flowed through him, so did a fragmented memory stolen from Goku's blood. Mercer saw a vision of a young boy running up a sunlit mountain, laughing as a kind old man with a mustache caught him. The Blacklight Virus did not feel memories. But this memory lingered, a stubborn ember of genuine warmth. Above him, he could feel Goku's persistent, searching ki. Section 9. Goku found him at dawn. He climbed down the access ladder into the drainage cistern, his ki completely suppressed. "Found you," Goku said mildly. "How are you doing?" "Integrating the thing I took from you." Goku casually sat cross-legged on the damp concrete. "Show me. Nobody's ever taken ki from me like that." Slowly, Mercer raised his hand. The colorless aura flared to life. It was jagged and unstable. Goku watched it intently. "It's wrong," he diagnosed. "The framework is there, but it's hollow. Ki needs something to push against, a foundation. What are you fighting for?" "Survival," Mercer said. Goku shook his head. "That's not enough. Ki doesn't run on the instinct to survive. It runs on what you're surviving for. You'll hit a ceiling and it will be low." The aura sputtered and died. Mercer analyzed the truth in Goku's words. His power output had plateaued. "You came down here alone," Mercer noted. "Yeah," Goku smiled softly, "because when your claws touched me, I felt something coming back from you. You're not just a weapon. You're someone who made a terrible choice because you thought you had to." Goku stood up, his aura igniting into a gentle baseline Kaioken glow. He held out his hand. "Show me your aura again, and this time push it against something real." Mercer manifested his ghostly ki. Goku reached out, letting his blazing red aura press against Mercer's. It wasn't an attack, it was resistance. The friction forced Mercer's ki to stabilize. "The Saiyans arrive in 2 months. I'm going to push my limits until they get here. You should be there, but as what you actually are, not what you plan to be." As Goku turned to leave, Mercer spoke. "The spirit bomb you used to clear the virus, I couldn't adapt to it. It's life energy, freely given by everything alive. It destroys you because the Blacklight Virus only knows how to take. The spirit bomb only works with what is shared." Section 10. 2 months later, the sky tore open. 2 Saiyan attack pods cratered into the eastern wastelands. Vegeta emerged with terrifying grace. His scouter flared, reading his own baseline at an imposing 24,000, easily capable of spiking to 27,000 in active combat. Nappa stepped out beside him, radiating chaotic malice at a lower but still devastating threshold. The Z-fighters assembled, staring down the barrel of extinction. Goku arrived last. He landed beside a battered Piccolo, his eyes scanning the horizon. "They're here," Piccolo said. "Yeah," Goku replied, glancing toward a distant ridge. On the cliffside stood Alex Mercer, his hood pulled up. His ki was carefully suppressed to a ghost outline. The battle commenced exactly as Goku's worst nightmares had feared. Teen fell. Chiatsu detonated himself. Piccolo intercepted a blast meant for Gohan, taking catastrophic damage to save the boy. With Piccolo down, Nappa grinned, turning his murderous gaze toward the terrified half-Saiyan. Mercer moved. He utilized pure viral acceleration, crossing 400 meters in 3 seconds. He slammed his high-density hammer fists into Nappa's flank just as the brute raised his arm. Nappa was thrown violently off course. He staggered up, tapping his scouter. "0? The scouter reads 0. What are you?" "Something your database lacks," Mercer stated, his arms shifting into massive blades. Nappa charged, unleashing a flurry of devastating blows. 3 times Mercer was blown apart by Nappa's sheer force. 3 times the black tendrils violently snapped him back together. Mercer wasn't trying to win, he was running interference, buying precious time. Goku arrived like a thunderbolt. His Kaioken X5 blazed, his power immediately rocketing to match Vegeta's upper threshold of 27,000. He hit Nappa with a flurry of strikes, so devastating they broke the giant's spine. Vegeta responded by casually executing his comrade. Vegeta turned to Goku, then glared at Mercer. A low-class warrior and a freak with no power level, irrelevant. The ensuing battle was apocalyptic. When Vegeta unleashed his great ape transformation, Mercer ran interference, constantly disrupting Vegeta's footing. These micro-distractions bought Yajirobe the fraction of a second needed to sever Vegeta's tail. Conclusion. When the dust finally settled, the wasteland was a scarred hellscape. Vegeta had fled in his pod. Goku lay in a crater, his body shattered, every bone broken, but remarkably alive. Mercer stood over him, his human guise tattered, revealing the writhing black biomass beneath. "Still want to consume me?" Goku coughed, a genuine smile cracking his bruised, bloodied face. "The contingency plan has been revised," Goku coughed. "Good revision?" Mercer focused inward. His key framework was stable. The colorless aura he generated now pulsed with a steady, enduring rhythm. He looked up at the stars, toward the dark expanse where Vegeta had fled. Deeper in his assimilated Frieza Force files lay a name that made the Saiyans look like children: Lord Frieza. Mercer looked back down at Goku, then at Gohan and Piccolo in the distance. The Blacklight Virus had always been driven by the singular need to survive. But as the memory of a grandfather's touch echoed in his mind, Mercer realized survival was no longer enough. "Yes," Mercer said, his ghostly aura flickering to life against the rising sun. Earth had survived, but the universe was vast, and endless threats lurked in the dark. Alex Mercer would be ready for them. He had finally found his foundation. He had found his reason.